4 species, 10 crafts, and 1 sketchy photo. From government whistleblowers to whistleblowers getting caught, we're bringing you the most bizarre headlines from the UFO world this week. Welcome to Mostly True Alien Stories, news, and entertainment, where the truth might be out there, but we're still deciding how much of it is mostly true.
We need to save ourselves.
What if the government's been talking to aliens this whole time? Not just 1 species, but 4. What do you got, Andrew?
Physicist and longtime Pentagon contractor Dr. Eric Davis claims the U.S. government hasn't just studied alien craft. It's been tracking 4 different non-human species for decades. In a closed-door briefings to the Senate Intelligence Committee, including then-acting chair Marco Rubio, Davis reportedly outlined how these beings have been monitored through crash retrievals, biological specimens, and what he calls non-terrestrial engagement protocols. According to leaked summaries, at least one of the species may be extra-dimensional rather than purely extraterrestrial. Another appears to be responsible for the propulsion systems of a recovered craft that defies known physics. Davis, who previously worked with the Pentagon's secretive Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program and now consults on reverse engineering efforts, says the contact has been ongoing, complex, and managed by a compartmentalized military intelligence structure outside of congressional oversight. He claims much of the data is housed in special access programs, which are deeply classified. Even presidents don't get briefed unless they have a direct need to know.
This might be the disinformation machine right here.
With what we've been doing and what we've covered, we know there's more than 4 species out there. They are either going to give us real information or they're going to tell us stuff that's just a distraction.
All right. If you thought 4 alien species was a lot, how about 10 spacecraft? That's how many non-human vehicles whistleblowers say are in U.S. hands right now. Some even say they're still fully intact. So what do we know about this, Andrew?
Multiple whistleblowers, some tied to the Pentagon's UAP programs and others from aerospace contractors, have now confirmed that the U.S. government possesses at least 10 non-human origin craft. Some of these vehicles are said to be fully intact, with propulsion systems that operate outside our current understanding of physics. Others are damaged, but still yield material science beyond any known earthly manufacturing capability. According to investigative journalists Leslie Keene and former Intel official Christopher Mellon, there were serious discussions in the early 2000s under the George W. Bush administration about going public, but senior officials allegedly backed out, fearing mass panic, economic disruption, and international instability. Insiders say at least 1 craft may still be operational. The whistleblower suggests these crafts have been distributed amongst defense contractors via special access programs, and that Congress is intentionally kept in the dark through bureaucratic loopholes.
There's a lot of interesting stuff happening here, because if they're talking about a controlled disclosure in the early 2000s, that's long before we were talking about disclosure when it came to alien technology, etc.
And how did they get the ships? Did we shoot them? Probably shot them down, right? Because that's, shoot now, ask questions later, right?
Or they could have ran out of gas, just crashed. That's probably what happened. All right, what if aliens don't use words at all? Best-selling author and abduction experiencer Whitley Strieber says communication with extraterrestrials bypasses language entirely. This one's weird. What's up?
Well, author and experiencer Whitley Strieber, best known for his 1987 book Communion, is revisiting one of the most profound aspects of alien contact: how they communicate. According to Strieber, the beings he encountered during his abduction experiences didn't speak in any traditional sense. Instead, they transmitted meaning directly into his mind, using a cocktail of images, emotional waves, and sensory impressions. No language, no words, just instant comprehension. Strieber claims it's not a message you hear, it's something you suddenly know, like waking up with knowledge you didn't study. He suggests that this method may be why so many abductees struggle to describe their encounters. The aliens, he says, may not even understand how disorienting their style of communication is to us. Some researchers now speculate that this could explain the emotional intensity and trauma reported in abduction cases. It's not just that contact is scary, it's that our brains may be unprepared to receive alien data in alien form.
It's wild that he says that the aliens may not even understand how disorienting their style of communication is to us. I find it hard to believe that the aliens aren't aware of that.
I'm going to communicate with them while I probe them to disorient them so they will never remember that they are being probed. It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, it could explain why, so many abductees are having trouble retelling what happened. I mean, possible.
Or they were never abducted.
That's right. And then there's that. All right. And finally, one of the loudest voices in UFO disclosure just made a big mistake. Let's talk about what happened and what it means for disclosure credibility. Andrew.
Luis Elizondo, the former head of the Pentagon's ATIP program and one of the most visible faces in modern UFO disclosure movement, just had a serious credibility slip-up. Last week, Elizondo posted what he claimed was a legitimate photograph of a UFO hovering over a grassy field. This image instantly went viral until internet researchers and AI sleuths identified it as a known hoax with ties to previously debunked CGI assets. Within hours, Elizondo quietly deleted the post. No apology, no clarification. When later asked about it, he backpedaled, saying it was meant to generate discussion rather than to be taken as actual evidence. But this isn't the first time he's been accused of stirring the pot with misleading claims. And some disclosure advocates are now asking, is Elizondo part of the movement or part of the problem?
I think this starts to push Elizondo into that Greer territory where the attention is overriding the credibility.
Could he be doing this to kind of throw us off the scent?
There's always that question with the government whistleblowers, whether the government has told them to go do this, to continue to create disinformation.
It just doesn't make sense. Maybe they're threatening his life. Maybe they're telling him, if you keep down this road, we're going to probe you the wrong way
till you die. That's your Mostly True Alien News this week. If you've been abducted by any of these stories or you just want to believe, hit subscribe, drop a comment, and share it with your UFO group chat. You know you're in one. New story episodes drop every Wednesday. News hits every Friday. So be kind to the aliens when they get here. That's all we got for you. Take care.
We need to save our